What is up, everyone? It is Get Wrecked Gaming, and today I'm back with another different kind of video. Today I'm gonna be comparing Call of Duty Ghosts to Battlefield 4. Both of these games are awesome, and I got some gameplays for them both. So basically, I'm gonna talk about Call of Duty Ghosts first, and I'm just gonna talk about what it does well, what it has in it, gameplay, and then I'll do the same for Battlefield 4. Okay, so let's talk about maps. It has a lot of good maps, but of course it has a lot of bad ones too. There's a lot of maps I just don't want to play, and it makes me back out of lobbies. And another thing is the connection. Well, the connection's okay. It's just it always puts you in games that have already started. Like, it seems to always do that to me, and I find that annoying, especially when I'm recording, because I don't want to record in a game that's already started. Let's talk about the guns. The guns. Oh yeah, and the map size is small. I mean medium, kind of. To a little bit long, not super long, but yeah. The maps are pretty small. Well, they're pretty big for Call of Duty actually, but they're still pretty. But so. The weapons. Let's talk about the weapons. The weapons are really good. They are all seem to be pretty balanced. Like the sniper rifles are all pretty balanced. Of course, they are kind of different. Like they're better for certain things. Like the Lynx is. This is an example. The Lynx is better for kind of like taking people out, like kind of close range, medium range, and then you got like the other sniper rifles, which like a L11, I mean L115, which is better for like taking out people who are really far away from you. So yeah, there's different, and the attachments are really good too. Yeah, it does a good job at achieving weapon balance. However, one thing I don't really like is the fact that you don't like to earn things when you rank up, because usually I got so happy when I ranked up in like Black Ops 2, because then I would get like a new weapon and stuff. But in Call of Duty Ghosts, it just gives you like more squad points and stuff, and then you can prestige. What I do like though is how when you're done with one character, you move on to the next character, and then you can always go back to your last character, and you can go up to level 60, and then you prestige on the next one, and then you prestige 2 all the way up to 10, and yeah, I like that. But the weapons are good. Yeah, the attachments are good as well. Oh, we kind of just the attachments are really good. Like, I always use attachments on the guns. It's not like the kind of game where I don't need attachments. I need attachments. Let's talk about the perks. The perks are kind of utilized more than ever, like more than they've really ever been in a Call of Duty game. I use the perks a lot, like, and if I just prestige, because that's the only thing you actually earn in levels, but you can also just buy them with squad points. And the thing about squad points is you just seem to have so many of them. Like at once you just have like so much, and you don't seem to spend them on anything.
Get those positions. We're
so
being dominated.
It's kind of weird how those work, but you know, it's fine. I'm trying to think what else. Call of Duty Ghosts is really good multiplayer. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I'm only gonna be talking about multiplayer for these, just because that's the main focus nowadays, depending on what kind of game it is. But it's just really good all around. And the main thing that's like a big thing for this is it's very fast paced. Of course, it's not as fast paced as other games in the series. It's actually one of the slower picks, but it's still super fast paced because the maps are really small. And that's the exact opposite of that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to talk about here. Oh yeah, game modes. There is a wide range of game modes that you can play. And so there's a lot of fun ones. Like you got a defected gun game, then you got your TDM, domination, all those gameplays. You know, like all those games that are just more team-based and stuff. You got free for all. You got all your stuff, and it has like new ones like Crank and all that. So yeah. Alright, I think it's about time that we move on to Battlefield 4 is like the exact opposite of a lot of things in Call of Duty Ghosts. Like, let's start out with this. The map size is absolutely humongous. Like, the maps are huge. Absolutely huge. The one thing I don't like about that, though, is you spend a lot of time just walking around trying to find people or trying to get to the objective. But one thing I do like more is the objective is kind of more... Like, a lot of people go more for the objective and don't try to get, like, a ton of kills instead of, like, going for the objective, which is what you're supposed to do. So, like, in Conquest, which is the equivalent of Domination, in Ghost, that's pretty much the main game mode I play. There's also Team Deathmatch, but it's on smaller scale maps, so I don't like it as much, because it doesn't do small scale maps as well as its huge maps, because that's what it's kind of made for. It's made for gigantic maps. And one thing I'm gonna need to say right now, it has, like, really good, like, weapons. The weapons are, like, really realistic. That's one thing about Battlefield 4. It is so much more realistic than Ghosts. Like, in Ghosts, here I'm gonna compare them. Like, you run super fast, you can do stuff super fast, but in Battlefield 4, it's a lot more realistic. You, like, run, you climb things. It just, everything seems more realistic. The weapons are more realistic, the recoil's more realistic. It's just, and it doesn't have all the, like, attachments that do all that. It has attachments, but they're a lot more, like, real seeming. And one thing that it really beats Ghosts out with is it has vehicles. It has vehicles, I know, right? So crazy. You usually don't see that in FPS games like this anymore. Vehicles. Yeah, I know. It's really cool. It's really cool that it has vehicles. Like, you get a ride around in vehicles. You get airplanes even. Well, not airplanes. It's like jet things. You got helicopters. You got ground vehicles. Just everything you can think of. Okay, not everything you think of, but tons of stuff. And that, it really beats Ghost out with that. And it's just overall map size. And the game time is ridiculously long. Like, seriously, the game time is long. It can go for an hour. That's how long the time clock is. In Ghosts, like, the top is like 10 minutes. But I find myself being in game for like 30 minutes. Like, always, every time, 40 minutes, I don't know. It's just really, like, it's just really long. But another thing I like about Battlefield is that it's a lot more team-based. You can do a lot of stuff with your team. You can ride in vehicles with your team. It's a lot more team-based. Where in Ghosts, you don't really use your team. They just seem like, they kind of seem like your enemy because they steal kills from you, and that's all you want to get is kills. But it's a lot more team-based in Battlefield 4. One thing I want to talk about, I want to compare the two, is the motion. The motion in Ghosts feels a lot smoother than in Battlefield 4, but that's because Battlefield 4 is trying to go for a more realistic, like, running and stuff. But I really think that I'd just rather move better and quicker, like in Ghosts and stuff. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about the weapons. We haven't really talked about the weapons for Battlefield 4. The weapons are, like, they're really good. I'm gonna say that. They all are pretty, not as balanced as in Ghosts, but pretty good. They're all really good. You get attachments for them. It doesn't seem as, like, good, though. The attachments aren't as good and stuff. That's probably because it's trying to go more realistic, I know. And it just seems a lot less good, kind of, in the weapon department. There's tons of weapons you can choose. You could choose, like, recon weapons, assault weapons, you know, all that. Assault rifles, snipers, all that stuff. And you have multiple weapon categories for each. Well, you have categories in categories. It's kind of weird. So you got, like, your recon, and then you got sniper rifles, DMRs, and all that kind of stuff. It's cool. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't feel as rewarded when I level up, just because it takes a longer time to level up, and it's, like, not as good. Okay, now I want to compare the graphics. Battlefield 4 does not have the better graphics in this scenario. Ghosts actually feels a lot more realistic than Battlefield 4's graphics. They are a lot better. They have higher resolution. And that might just because I'm playing on Xbox 360 and it's meant for be on Xbox One and PS4. But I saw my friend has a PS4 and I've been there and he plays that game all the time, and it really doesn't look that much different. So I'm gonna say the graphics in Ghosts are better. Okay, now it's down to my final verdict. What is my final verdict? My final verdict on this battle is going to have to be Call of Duty Ghosts. It is more of a personal preference thing. If you like more fast-paced action, Call of Duty Ghosts is your game. If you like longer matches and more teamwork, Battlefield 4 is your game. So it's really either, depending on what type of playstyle you have. See you guys next time. It's been Get Wrecked Gaming.